Hello, everyone. I
Hey,
assume that
Adelere.
you're all. Yeah, hello, Scott.
Thank you for assuming I'm
Hello,
excellent.
Taj.
I assume you, Ryan, Kajal, and Joy are excellent.
We all are. Thank you. Including those who are going to join the call as we proceed.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So, we are looking at another concept today of trillionaires. And I just want to let you know that trillionaires have a particularly high uh, concept of accepting or believing in what seems impossible to others. And that's the concept we're looking at today. To the trillionaire, there is not an idea such as impossible. Everything is possible. Everything exists as a possibility. Now, in the mystical language that we discussed it, of course, we we go in and we are like, oh yeah, well, to God all things are possible. That's not necessarily the idea of it for the trillionaire. Okay. But it's trillionaire, in fact, sometimes the idea of God may be completely external. So they don't think, oh, well, with God, that is me, all things are possible. However, they still don't buy into the state or concept that trillions are an impossibility unto them. And that's just what we're discussing here. To the trillionaire, all concepts, all states are possible, including having trillions. So, if you want to be a trillionaire, you've got to actually be a person who accepts the actuality of trillions. Even though the rest of the world might go, that's impossible, even though others might wonder how on earth could it ever be done, do not accept such ideas. You must believe in the stark impossibility of trillions, but not as an impossibility, but actually as an actuality, an experience that is bound to happen. That's always meant to be. You find this in trillionaires, and one of the things we discussed is how they appear like they're stubborn. No, a trillionaire is not stubborn. A multi-billionaire is not stubborn. It's not particularly stubbornness. It's just simply persistent. They have brazen impudence. They know something is there, something they are gonna claim it, and they don't give up on that vision, that ideal, until they've won the stage, right? Until it happens in this outer world. So to them, there is no such thing as impossibility. But we must be clear on this point that trillionaires actually love the idea of impossibility to others, and they love to exemplify that it is possible to themselves. Starting with the very idea of making trillions, multi-billions, even billions. How does it? And you know that most billionaires in the world are actually self-made. In fact, the top billionaires in the world, the very top ones, there are some who inherited it in their families. No, they're not the top. Just to be clear, they're not. They're not even in the top 10. If you go and look at it, but if you take a look at the top billionaires, you'll find a quality in them. The quality is described as self-made. There is like a count of how much of being self-made they are. That is how much of starting from nothing and getting up all the way from the same $500, $1,000 that everyone is making in the world, all the way to $100 billion, $150 billion, $200 billion, 500, $700 billion. And if you go on Forbes, for example, you're going to find it. Every billionaire that you click their name to check their quick profile, you'll find it there. Self-made, kind of like index. And it's right 8, 9, 7, depending on whether they inherited much of that money from their family or whether it is that they built it from scratch. Larry Ellison, for example, had 9 on the score, 9 for his index, meaning much of it he actually did from much of it he did from nothing. And everyone else would say that's impossible. His wife actually said, nah, there's no clue. There's no way it's gonna happen, right? It may be an impossibility, but he actually did it. He accomplished it, and it happened. So trillionaires and billionaires really have a thirst and so much joy and pleasure in making what is seemingly impossible actually happen, including the idea of having billions from nothing. You know how many zeros that are? Uh, but yeah, they end up having it from absolutely nothing. And you find it also in all the inventions that trillionaires lead, in all the businesses that trillionaires sponsor or that trillionaires are the sponsors of. But take an idea, they bring another one together, and they're sort of like creating the future, molding what's going to happen to everyone, to the entire world. Now, I don't want you to think that you're passive under it. No, you are just as an active creator as all the rest that we are looking at here. You're just as powerful, and you are just as on the same level, profile, and status in riches and in physical experience as we all are. You've got to just believe it. That's all. Just believe it. See, what I just mentioned to you right now, if you told that to 100 people, the chances you won't find even one person among them to actually believe it. That is 0% out of 100. If you told it to 1,000 people, you still won't find like one person to actually believe it. They will tell you the exact same thing. Who do you think I am? I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a trillionaire. Who do you think I am? What's my background? What's my family? What's my country? What's my state of origin? Where did I grow up in? I don't think I have any of those things. What age do you see I have already got? Okay. How many years of my life do you think I've already wasted? I don't think that it's possible to consider myself a trillionaire or a billionaire. What kind of arrogance is that? But you must understand that it is not anything you've known of your past, but it is what you are achieving now that will determine and fashion the future. So make yourself a trillionaire in your own consciousness. Dwell in the attitude and you produce that result. The trillionaire really appreciates the seeming impossibility as his own domain of experience. It's not about what is possible for everybody to do. It's about what seems impossible for anyone to do. I've been in my business for 3 years and 7, 8 months. Okay, about 9 months now. And I hadn't done a single ad. I hadn't run one for my business, for coaching. I did try to run an ad for my book, The Power of Inner Speech, sometime in 2023, not long after it was released in March, I think. That was it. I think it maybe it just was like for 2 or 3 days, just for the book. And I don't even know, I really do know anything about the track it, how to monitor it, whether it was producing results or not. I don't know. All I know was I tried to do that. But besides that, I didn't run out for any of the clients I've got. And I've got so many. For any of the followers, but I've got so many. And to anyone else, that would be like an impossible idea. You should have some budget for marketing. You should even start a business with some capital to start with. Well, I didn't. I always thought it was necessary, so I always delayed it. But when I began to accept the impossible, hey, I could do the impossible. And I did. Still, I got all the results I'd like to have. And that is the state, nature, and experience of trillionaires, accepting the impossible. Because to you, it's not impossible. It is an actuality. See, the statement with God all things are possible, and to him who believes all things are possible is tricky. You don't just have to accept the impossibility as possible. You've got to actually go beyond that to admit it is your actual reality. It is who you are. It is what you experience, and it is the only way things are bound to be. If you want it, accept it is. Unless you don't want it. But if you want it, accept it is. So can you simply hold a vision in your mind that you are a trillionaire and sustain that vision? Yes. Now, to anyone else in the world, that's an impossibility. But hey, you're holding the vision, and that's all it takes for it to become an actuality. So how is it that we have a lot of billionaires in the world? All these billionaires accepted the idea that nothing is impossible. That's it. They just simply go, all things are possible to me, and thereby equating themselves, whether knowingly, like someone would actually go, well, I am God, and all things are possible to me, right? Whether knowingly or unknowingly, some would go, well, I just want to believe it. This is me. This is who I am. All things are possible to me. But whether knowingly or unknowingly, they end up accepting that there is no such thing as impossibility to them. The only question they ever really have to answer to themselves is, do I want it? If they could go, yes, I want it, then all right, claim that it is so. Now maintain that attitude. That's another concept that we have just learned today. With respect to everything that you want, not just billions, not just trillions, it has to be a posture. You know what a posture is? Like, I want to take a picture of you now. You maintain a posture, right? You don't change that posture until it actually taken the picture. That's a posture, a way of being, a way of arranging, a positioning yourself. Do it as a posture. No, this is my posture as a trillionaire. I believe all things are possible. I actually accept that there is actuality in all the things that I want, that they are so. That's my posture. And so it's not just about the money, also with health, also with lifestyle, also with peace of mind, anything that you want. But you must accept it is possible. You really must have that inner attitude. Okay, everyone. So I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, bye bye.